Today I'm going to be showing you the correlation between PI planning and sprints, which is Scrum. So PI planning is a very important event that takes place within the SAFe framework, but also its correlation between the Scrum methodology also has a big connection, and we need to be able to understand this. So in order to understand this stuff, we need to be able to first formulate a picture of what's really going on here. So if we look at Scrum, in the first instance, it is comprised of four things. So you've got the sprint plannings taking place here. We also have daily stand-ups. We also have sprint reviews, and then you also have sprint retrospectives. All of this stuff works together. So it works as a nice little wheel that's taking place, nice little clog that's running around. Now, this thing has to power maybe 1 Scrum team, 2 Scrum teams, 3 Scrum teams, 4 Scrum teams, 5, 6, 7, and it could go up to 15 Scrum teams, or maybe even 50 Scrum teams. So this framework has to be successful. So if we are reaching a number of 50 Scrum teams, or any number I would say greater than 5 Scrum teams, it's going to get very difficult to manage, especially if these 5 Scrum teams are working on one product. It's going to get very difficult. So we need to introduce something which is called a coordination layer. Something that's going to coordinate all these teams together. And this is where the concept of program increments comes in from Scaled Agile Framework. So some of you are aware of SAFe Scaled Agile Framework, which is a proprietary licensed framework, which is phenomenal when it comes to understanding the power of scaling Scrum and agility within your organizations. Now, PI stands for Program Increment. Now, this program increment can last in the region of 8 to 12 weeks. And in this 8 to 12 week cycle, we are expecting that these Scrum teams are executing. Now, we could say there could be up to 5 sprints that could take place within the structure. So sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3, sprint 4, and sprint 5. Obviously, the last sprint is called an IP iteration for those who know. Now, if this is taking place in a time span of, let's just say 10 weeks, because it's a round number, we need to ensure all of this is coordinated. This is looked after. This is it's a well-oiled machine. And this is where the concept of an Agile Release Train comes in. Agile Release Train. And an Agile Release Train can contain up to quite a lot of teams in here. Maybe 5 to 15 Scrum teams could be sitting in here. And they are basically your Agile Release Train, which are powering this PI. This is your PI. This is your program increment, which lasts from the first week all the way up to the 10th week or the 12th week, depending on what the duration is. Now, what happens on the first day? PI planning. And those of you who know, PI planning is a 2-day workshop. And this 2-day workshop is phenomenal at understanding what's going to go and plan out accordingly throughout the next couple of, for that duration. And every week, there is something called an art sync. Now, we're just going to write it here, just to get some space here, is an art sync. An art sync comprises of product owners and Scrum Masters working in their groups and understanding scope, progress issues, anything that they've got to deal with, they're working together to sort this out. And in this art sync, they're trying to keep the train on track. That's what they're doing here. And it's a beautiful idea to ensure that we are on track to deliver something by this time. That's the concept here. So this is called a Scrum of Scrums, a PO sync, or an art sync, grouped as an art sync. This is going on a weekly basis. And towards the end, we have something called an inspect and adapt workshop, which is basically a 3-part workshop whereby we demonstrate what we have created to the stakeholders. We do some qualitative measurements such as KPIs and PIs and metrics to see how well we are performing against numbers, and we'll do something called a problem-solving workshop to see how we can resolve certain issues that we are facing together as teams. So there you go, there is a complete picture of the Scaled Agile Framework when it especially comes to program increments on one side and Scrum on the other side, what the correlation is. The correlation is very simply that these sprints, the Scrum framework is powering the program increment. Without this, you cannot have this. So it's a important relationship. Agility is built in all the way through, but we need to ensure that we harness this agility in the correct way. So those of you who are taking Leading SAFe, SAFe Scrum Master, Advanced Scrum Master, Product Manager, Product Owner, Agile Product Management, Lean Portfolio Management, this picture here is where you need to be. So in conclusion, to simply summarize, your program increment lasts about 10 to 12 weeks. The Agile Release Train usually has about 5 to 15 teams. And PI planning is about 2 days. And we need to make sure that all of this is synced. And the inspect and the adapt workshop, about a day. 4 hours maybe, typically. And so these are some of the workshops that we're showing here. And the Art Sync, if you remember, is composed of the PO Sync and the Scrum of Scrums. Maybe about 2 hours, maybe about 2 hours here. It depends on what's practically happening within the organization. We have some fantastic agendas which is contained within the Scaled Agile training portfolio. When you sit the Scaled Agile courses, it tells you exactly how you want to do this. So if you're interested to learn more about this stuff, if you're looking to take this stuff to another level, feel free to contact me and we can maybe take you on to a Leading SAFe course, a Scrum Master course, or an Advanced Scrum Master course, and you can start to embed this within your organization and also take advantage of some of the more advanced stuff as well. Thanks for watching.